of life, you have to die a couple times before you can realize it. But usually people can only die once. Oh well, too bad.
Are the cameras both running now?
Well, I turned that camera on. I thought you already turned the other camera on.
I didn't turn the other one on. I was debating on it. But then again, it's bleeping. Is it recording?
I don't know. Is it set to record?
I don't know.
Well, it could be bleeping because it's charging.
No, it is not set to record. Okay. It's now recording. Alright, anyways.
Good enough.
You see,
It's the end of the
world as we know it,
and I feel
fine.
Alright, well,
That's a good opening.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I don't know, let's try and talk about him. At least how Qaddafi's being treated now that he's been put in his vegetable refrigerator
I gotta say, he is one of the very rarest way to go as a dictator.
Really?
Yeah. Well, let's think about it. How many dictators you know has been, without any kind of prosecution or even try?
Yes, most of them die nicely in their beds.
Yes, yes.
No, not all of them, but quite a few of them. At least they had a trial for them. The whole thing, instead of just camera rolling, shaking. Oh, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't usually happen to most of the dictators.
Yes, Anthony has a point. Either they die in their bed, or most of them at least they try and get a trial. Like, they did try and put Augusto Pinochet on trial.
Yeah, but still, that's a relatively new thing. I mean, the International Court, for a start, is very new. They've only had a chance to basically attempt to prosecute Chileans and Serbians.
Yes.
They haven't really existed long enough to try anybody else.
Yeah.
And Hussein actually had a trial.
Oh yes, he did have a trial.
Yeah, so
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Still, he get to
Yes, there was a trial, there was a lawyer.
Yeah. So, even though it's off stage or anything, but at least, he got his time, he can at least, but no, Qaddafi just, bye, that's it.
Pretty much.
I don't even think he has the time to give his last speech or anything.
No, he did leave a will, which was published online, which basically...
I
he did.
think the will is fake.
I don't think so. It's basically...
First of all...
Well, who published the will online? Was it his son who's in Africa?
I'm not
Under house
sure.
arrest?
I think it was his son, and it was published through the BBC.
I just don't feel he's actually authentic because it doesn't really fit his personality.
To leave a will?
No, not to leave it. Well, yes, first of all, to actually leave a will because this guy definitely believes he can live for another 20 years. And so I doubt he actually has any kind of intention to leave a will. And another thing is, he left the will by praising, the Muslims and everything.
Well, I guess he did, but he was more carry on the fight without me, brothers. Keep fighting against the colonialist imperial powers.
But still, it doesn't feel like it really fits his personality.
I guess so. I mean, it was like 2 paragraphs, about 500 words.
Well, that's not nearly long enough.
Yeah, no, it has to be like 5,000 words that have fish flu and stuff in it.
Yes, and maybe some Condoleezza Rice photos in there, alongside with the well, saying, "Yeah, this woman is the idol of the African nation. Yes, she is a prime example about how the African woman is supposed to be."
Yeah.
Yes.
That and if...
Oh, come on.
Well, it is weird. He didn't get a trial, and but then again, the Libyans knew that if they gave him up to the ICC or tried him himself, it would be a freaking
but
farce.
still, usually when you are trying to, taking over, like you're trying to sort of at least put on like we're leaning towards democracy route, so we at least will make an effort to make looks like.
Yes, if Libya had a regular army, which was actually under the control of an actual general who answered to the transitional council, then yes, they would have kept them alive. But they don't have that. They have a bunch of random militias.
So they just shot him on the spot.
So that no, they didn't shoot him on the spot. They actually have film of him, begging them not to kill him. And then apparently later, when they were driving him somewhere, they just shot him.
Then don't forget they randomly beat him as they were driving him.
Well, they were beating him as he was, begging.
But still, like I say, the point is he's still kind of.
That's probably my mom and my sister.
But like the way as a dictator, the way he's actually, how he disappeared is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, his last moment is kind of weird.
You're right in a way, but still, look, in a way I think the idea of them having to have a trial to be legitimate is a bit overblown.
Yes,
I mean...
But also certain dictators, they will at least say have a dignity to commit suicide, so...
Oh, fuck. Well, yeah, I mean...
Well, not recently.
Not in his...
Not in his case, not in Saddam Hussein's case, no.
Yeah, Slobodan Milosevic had the dignity to eventually, during his trial, kill himself. Eventually. Yes. The concept of the Roman general has gone out in the modern age.
Yeah.
Yes, well, these are dictators who are there to create the cult of personality. They're not there for some great ideal of some twisted kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely he's a memorable character though.
Oh yeah, no. He'll be remembered for many years to come.
He will be.
And the Libyans will erect monuments to how much they hate him.
Well, yeah. But now the interesting part is, so now Libya, everybody decided they want to jump in and to have a piece of their own share.
Mm-hmm.
So there was news about like the Americans' reaction towards Libya, saying they're actually not actually jumping as fast as the other nations.
That's about right, I guess.
But somehow U.S. may actually going to get a pretty good deal out of this.
Probably. I mean, because as much as the French and the British were leading the effort, all the actual firepower was, most of the actual firepower was provided by the Americans.
And it was the American foreign policy diktats that allowed this to happen. I mean, it largely was the American State Department that arm twisted enough to get the UN resolution through and push people when its hope in the mission was kind of going to the wayside and people were fearing there might be a stalemate in that bloody mess.
Well, no, the British and French were still pushing, even when it looked somewhat bleak. I mean, the actual important fact was the Americans got to get an agreement from the Arab League to support the Libyan intervention. I mean, if the Arab League hadn't gone along, then I'm pretty sure the Americans wouldn't have pulled it together to do this.
But that was a combined effort of the American influence in the Arab League and, of course, the future ruler of all of the Middle East, the King of Qatar.
Well, actually, not just Qatar. The Saudis also have hated Qaddafi for a good long time.
Yeah.
Well, there's
and if they hadn't hated him, I mean, because we're looking at the same situation in Syria. The United States would sort of like to do something against Syria.
Yes.
But the Arab League's not going along with doing something against Syria.
No, unfortunately
well,
not.
yeah, very rarely you have one guy who can piss off both Western and the Arab world at the same time.
Oh, yes, quite everyone.
Yeah, so he did manage a sort of a trifecta there.
Yeah, it's like, how the hell is he actually staying powerful that many years and piss off every single people he knew?
Well, he didn't just piss off everybody, because remember, he distributed a lot of money to certain causes. He's distributed a fair amount of money to Cuba and to their friends in South and Central America. He had distributed a lot of money to Africa and the African Union, which is why they stuck with him for so freaking long.
Yeah.
Even after it was obvious what was going to happen.
His ultimate demise.
And see, also, most of the mosques, well, about half the mosques in the Western world were built with Libyan money. The other half were built with Saudi money.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm sort of interested to see what happens to half the mosques in Canada.
Yeah.
Because pretty much half the mosques in Canada don't have any money anymore.
Nope.
Mm.
Not only that, but he was a left-wing icon. People in certain
Yes.
very left-wing blogs were supporting his insanity right to the end, with the claim that NATO's in here for the oil.
Yeah, wasn't that kind of ironic when he started a green revolution? However, he's making lots of money out of oils.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ironic.
he was supposed to be the Che Guevara of the Middle East.
Yeah, well, then he should at least die about 20 years sooner.
Oh yeah, about that.
Yeah. Or he should retire about 20 years sooner.
Yes, then people would talk well of him as opposed to his body being displayed.
He will still be a crazy
In a
guy.
cargo container somewhere.
Oh, you haven't seen the setup? They basically took a fruit market in Misurata with a walk-in refrigerator. They have armed guards around it. They have him lying naked there with a blanket over him and his son's beside him. And they basically have been marching in the whole town, well, the whole city of Misurata right through so people can take pictures and spit on him.
But they moved his body to Tripoli.
No, unless they've done it in the last sometime today. The fact is, I believe the initial reports were going to be that he was going to be in Tripoli or there was going to be some burial, but somehow he ended up in that Misuratan freezer, and I believe he's been there till this very hour. I would hazard a guess that maybe the Misuratans aren't just listening to the NTC and are saying what's going to happen to Qaddafi. And I imagine he's going to be in that freezer at least for a couple more days, so everyone can have the opportunity of spitting on him.
Well, I know they said they were going to bury him, I think it was yesterday, according to Muslim custom, but then they realized not enough people had seen him, so they decided to wait on the burial.
Yes.
Yes, well, you gotta make sure he's very, very much dead.
Dead? Well, it is important to make sure people know he's dead, because people were trying to bullshit for a little while that wasn't Qaddafi, maybe he's hiding somewhere and so on.
Yeah, it's like people bullshitting about the Osama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at least this one will be less controversy.
Yeah. And also, well, now, you don't have the healing ability of a trial to see, there's Qaddafi, he's an idiot, we're getting a revenge on him through the legal justice system. You now get to compact that into a few days of national spitting days. Just march in, spit on him. In fact, if I had like ludicrous amounts of money, I would fly to Libya to spit on that man.
Why? He did nothing to you.
Because he's freaking Muammar Qaddafi.
Still, without him, the world will be a little bit boring. You don't have somebody as crazy as he is, well, just...
Yeah,
Well,
it's
actually-
a little more boring and a little less brutal.
Yeah.
I guess it's still Ahmadinejad.
Ahmadinejad isn't quite the entertainer.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he says the occasional crazy thing at the UN, but it's not on the same scale.
Yes,
I
it's
guess.
not announcing himself as the king of kings of Africa and then trying to get the African Union to agree with it.
While smoking a cigar.
I can't even pinpoint what is my favorite Qaddafi moment. His King of Kings thing or his fish flu speech to the UN.
Well, which airplane did he shoot at?
What, the Pan Am thing over Scotland?
I think so.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a Libyan thing. In fact, right now they're trying to get the person that was released from Scotland on compassionate leave because he was dying, and then it turned out he wasn't dying, trying to put him back in jail.
Good.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was,
the Americans are still pissed about that one.
that was back in the 80s, though.
Mm-hmm.
When the bombing went off, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it was on, it was national news.
Oh, yeah, no, it was big news.
Yeah, actually, there's another jetliner that got shot down by the Russians at the same time. Well, the Soviets.
You mean the flight over Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the North Korean flight.
Yeah. No, South Korea.
There was a South Korean flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got shot down by Soviet.
Well, speaking of that, this has been a huge policy defeat for the Russians, hasn't it? Have you seen Russian TV? They are pissed.
Well, yes. I mean, they kept on supporting Qaddafi and sending in mercenaries well beyond when it was obvious that there was no chance he was going to win.
And then now U.S. gonna be stepping and taking over, and that makes it look like, well, thank you Soviet, thank you Russia, nice Libyan line with lots of oil for us now. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, no wonder.
Well, not only that, but the fact is, Libya has no debt, or a very small debt. They have tons of oil reserves they're developed, and all of those people are going to need actual houses, Western products that can now be imported in there, all of that infrastructure work, iPhones. This is going to help get the world economy back on its feet. There is tons of shit we could sell to these people. If I could, I would get Arabic magic cards into a giant shipping container and get my ass over there.
Well, I don't know. You probably have to wait for a little bit while. Nowadays, probably better just keep on trying to sell them more weapons.
Well, we'll see how the whole tribal situation works
It's going
out.
to be a little bit. You might want to hold on that plan a little.
Yeah, I think they're going to be poor for a little while longer.
Yes.
And if they start fighting and killing each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
for quite a while longer.
But if they don't start fighting and killing each other and avoid civil
We'll
war.
find out in the next few months. Maybe before.
Oh, we'll pretty much find out in the next month.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Before the Christmas, basically, we'll be finding out what's going to happen. Yeah. So now we may want to just hold on it and wait and see.
Yes.
And that pizza's really, really long.
Yes, I don't think the pizza's coming at this point.
They should at least give you a call about if they're coming or not.
They should. They should also give us a call to say, hey, you know what? We're lost.
Do you want to call them back and ask about that? Because if they're not coming, you must just cancel the order and order somebody else.
Well, hold on a
Because there's
second.
no
What
point
time
of-
it is? We want-
Now it's 10:30, so...
Well, we could also do the alternate of hitting Denny's because
Yeah, I guess we could.
the
Okay.
fact is we wanted to be there at 11. It's
Yes, around
10:30 right
11.
now.
well, even if
Well, the
we
quickest
drive
one-
to Denny's or wherever,
Yeah,
by the time
well,
we get served, it's going to
The
be
quickest
afterwards.
one is we're actually just getting a McDonald's and getting a few burgers. That'll be the fastest way to go.
At this point, it'd actually be faster to go to a pizza place than it will be to Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
Or-
Well, all right. Well, I guess in that case, we have our test footage.
We need a ending scene.
Yes, the ending scene of us all complaining about having no pizza. That sounds... Well, that's the end of this test shot, which I will be putting up on YouTube soon.
Yes.
May need some editing.
Nah, this is a test thing. I'm probably just going to put it up and
Okay.
without really any editing whatsoever.
Yes, people can
Okay.
then comment on what they'd like to add in. We had a very good conversation.
Then we can
Yeah, it
see
was a
the-
little limited. We only really dealt with one issue.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but usually one issue is pretty much like... Unless you want to take off on rugby.
Oh yes, yes. Actually, that is a point. The All Blacks did come in, didn't they?
Yes, we won. The World Cup is ours again.
Yes, they had a whole parade. It was big news on the
Oh
BBC.
no, we had 3 parades.
What? 3 parades?
Well, we had to have one parade in Auckland, which is a
Okay.
major city. Then we had to have another parade in the capital.
Capital.
And actually, I forget what the third one was for.
Eden Garden?
Uh,
Eden Field? Or whatever the hell it's called.
Eden Park.
Eden Park, yes.
Yeah.
Eden
All
Park.
right. When was the last time New Zealand won the
The
rugby?
first
Our
World
first
Cup.
World Cup.
This is the
Okay.
first time.
No, this is the second time.
Okay.
Since the first World
We
Cup.
won the first Rugby World Cup in the 80s.
Okay.
South
And they happen
Africa
every
won
4
twice.
years, so they're not actually that common.
Okay.
But it's only started back in the 80s, so...
Well, we let the South Africans win because, they just
They
liberated
won
their country.
twice.
Okay, the second one counts. Though.
Okay. If you want to say the first time, yeah, sure. Second time, just last time. Well, I wonder what happened to Kiwi team. Oh yeah, France beat them.
How
It
did
was
France?
unlucky.
How did France do this year?
Well, they were
They were
in the
final.
finals with us.
Oh yes.
They actually have a really close game. The final score was actually 8-7.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, very close.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, New Zealand missed a couple really crucial field goals. Otherwise,
Yes, no, our kicking was crap.
hey, you guys were perfect. Right until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So just suddenly just can't kick the ball anymore. But still, France did a pretty good job by containing New Zealand from scoring.
No, France has actually done well this time. So did Wales. Australia, not so much.
No, they almost...
Even South Africa didn't turn out that good a
No.
performance.
So yeah, so congratulations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is in its rightful hands again.
Well, you guys creative, as well just keep it. As a matter of fact, it's kind of shame when this is only second win. Ever since the first one when you guys created.
You mean like Canada not having had the Stanley Cup in how many years?
Well, that's nothing to do with Stanley Cup because Stanley Cup is
Every year.
is play with. Oh no, it's not. Has nothing to do with is a Canadian team or not. Don't forget a large amount of the Canucks player are Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing to do with that. If you want to talking about the hockey, how about saying before the Salt Lake City, 2002 Salt Lake City, what was that 2002 or 2004?
I think it's 2004.
No, it has to be two.
Oh, 2002. No, 2002
2002.
Salt Lake City. Before that, Canada were 50 years without a goat.
Oh, right, it's winter, so it would be too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They were goalless for 50 years.
Yes, it was largely the Russians dominating it then.
Pretty much. Russians and other European nations. But no, Canada was goalless for 50 years. So if you want to talk about, yes, it's a game Canadian created, but, well, until very recently, they were doing nothing.
And on that cheery note, let's try and hunt down something to eat, I guess.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
next we can talk about the America's Cup.
Eastleigh and...
And why our league is actually a New Zealand team.
Eastleigh and...
As we know it, and I feel fine.